What's good, YouTube? Arby's Cards here, back with another video. I'm gonna try to make this one quick, not too long, but I had a thought the other day, and my guy Orion talked about the PSA offers in the hobby and what it means, and I want to talk about the whole PSA offer system and what it means for us Pokemon people. And I'm going to bring up points that Neo Cards and Comics brought up, and my guy Tarver Cards brought up. He did a video on this whole thing a couple days ago. Neo focuses on, he has a TCG channel where it's mainly sealed stuff, but he also dabbles in sports cards and comics, and Tarver Cards is mainly a sports card channel. And he's local to me, so I've met with him and I've talked to him a few times. Cool dude. So, in case you didn't know, whenever you submit the PSA and whenever your grades pop, they have this instant offer button, and where they pretty much PSA will, or I don't know if it's PSA, but somebody has an offer out there where they will buy that card off of you for X percentage of whatever value PSA deems it as. But I think now, for the sake of discussion, let's say PSA is the one buying the product. Part of this, I think, is because if I remember the name right, I think PSA has a repack company called Power Packs. So I think part of it is they're trying to source inventory for those repacks. If you don't know what repacks are, a big thing in the sports card market these days. I think a lot of it is what's keeping up sports card values, and what's propping up sports card values is the repacks. What some people will do is that you have these big repack buyers that'll set up at a show. Their main job is to buy cards for the repack product at 90% of comps. What some people will do is they will go buy cards at 80%, 75%, 80%, 85%, and they'll turn around and go sell it to the repacker for 90%. And they'll just keep doing that over and over and over and over and over again, especially if they know what the repacker wants. Now, I haven't seen, I could be wrong, and like I said in yesterday's video, I think some things that happen in the sports card market are a predecessor to what will potentially happen in the Pokemon market. We have not seen, from my knowledge, I have not seen a lot of repackers at big Pokemon card shows like the Collectibles, things like that. I have not heard of that. I have not heard of that happening yet. I could see it happening one day, but right now we don't. And I think there are some Pokemon repack products on Courtyard and things like that, but we don't have whatnot streamers doing it. I mean, you have some smaller ones, but not on the scale of what sports cards is. Anyway, let's get back to the whole PSA thing. And I'm not here to talk about some tinfoil hat conspiracies that some people have about PSA, whether that's pop control, they're trying to control the market, or things like that. Even though, actually, I will bring up a couple of them. But pop control, to me, that has nothing to do with it. I do think, I will touch on that though real quick, I do think they do grade some cards tougher than others, which makes it look like there's pop control, which I guess is controlling the population in a way, but that's the only extent that I think that is. Now, as far as them buying and selling cards, one of the things that they do is they'll buy it at market value. And one of the things that they do, or how people value cards, is comps. And my guy Tyler Tarver in his video mentioned that with comps, it's very similar to the real estate market. That's how they value properties, is comps, and they use comps to determine the value of a card. Well, luckily in Pokemon, for graded cards, you have comps. I mean, it's on eBay, it's right there. And then you have market value. For raw, you have TCG player for raw value. Some people use eBay or whatever. Sorry, I'm driving too, and I'm just trying to get this piece of content out while I'm on my way home. So if let's say they have a card they buy a card for $200, that's a $100 card, they buy it at 90%, $90. Since it's a sale, now whether they put it out publicly or not, the value of that card goes down to $90. Another one pops and they buy it for $81. So the value of that card will drop as that card keeps going in population. Or do they just leave the value the same because it's a private sale at $100? I don't know what they do, but they have a market tool card ladder that they use to track pricing, and I think they kind of go off of that. So that may be part of it. But the good thing about that is, about them doing this whole instant offers thing, is that it provides instant liquidity to people who grade cards, and it helps a lot with that, especially if you need to be liquid. I think that since we haven't seen really repackers come up, you see these vendors buying things at 80 to 90%. I'm not quite sure how the whole thing works exactly, but I wouldn't be surprised if you can if PSA will buy a card from you, and I think you can compete with some of the dealers. PSA is going to start competing with some of these vendors at shows. It's like, well, let's say they offer you 75, 80%. They'll turn around and say, hey, PSA will sell it to me for 90%. That can change things if you think about it. But I don't know if we're at that point in the Pokemon state or the Pokemon hobby or the Pokemon market with that yet. I don't know where we're at with that. Also, I think PSA in an interview said that normal people eventually will be able to put in offers or bounties on cards. I don't know how far we are from that either. But if us individuals could do that, and if we say, hey, I know people that go after some high-end cards, they say, hey, if one of these comes up, this is what I'm willing to pay for it. And whenever that grade pops, it'll come across the screen and go from there. But I think it's a good thing for us Pokemon people because it provides us some liquidity. That's the main thing I like about it. But like I said, we don't know if they're doing it for repacks or how that's going to work. We don't know how it's going to evolve yet, but I would not be shocked if that happened. So anyways, guys, I'm going to get off here before I hit this traffic. If you enjoyed the video, smash the like button, comment, subscribe. I will see y'all in the next one.